And now it's time for Leadership of the Leaf with Dice and Austin. Let's jump in with a cut and a light.
All right, welcome to Leadership of the Leaf SideBar episode.
SideBar!
This SideBar, we're going to be focusing on the great, fun, and most probably the drunkest holiday in the American calendar, and that is St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. Basically, what we're going to fill this episode with is we're going to talk about things that are green.
Green. I love the color green because it's the color of money. Mr. Krabs. I like some money.
SpongeBob, me boy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not SpongeBob. My name is Dice.
My name's Austin.
And this is our sidebar for Candella.
Candella episode. So the thing I like about Candelas, and I'll be fair, I'll be honest, I have not smoked that many Candelas in my lifetime. Right? They're very rare. Usually they start coming around St. Patrick's Day, and so that's because everyone wants everything to be green around St. Patrick's Day, right? Otherwise you're going to get pinched. But first, before we get into anything else, what are you smoking on, Dice?
I'm actually smoking on a 2012 Lancero by Oscar. It's a 7x38. Now, what makes the cigar, the Candela that we're smoking, it's a barber pole. So it's a San Andreas Mexican wrapper, barber pole with undisclosed Candela.
So I am smoking the Filthy Hooligan, the 2022 Filthy Hooligan Shamrock, which is a triple barber pole.
Wow.
It is a Nicaraguan Habano, Candela, and Maduro wrapper with a Panamanian and Honduran filler with a Sumatra binder. It's delicious. It's about a 6x50. So it puts it firmly in that nice Toro range, and it's quite yummy so far. I'm only in the first third, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, that sounds like a beautiful cigar. If those out there, they want to see this cigar, I mean, go to our Instagram, Leadership of the Leaf on our Instagram site, or every now and again we'll post our pictures up on the website, which is nsplume.wixsite.com/LOTL. There's a tab on there for our cigar list, so you can see what we're smoking. By all means, please go to that site. You can see these cigars. They're actually very beautiful to look at.
They are. So we both got barber poles. Mine's a triple barber pole, which is going to be interesting because, you know, the Maduro, the Candela, and the Nicaraguan wrapper, the Habano, is creates quite a striking image, and it's just so pleasing to the palate. But before we get too far into anything else, I gotta know, what is that drink you're sipping on? Because I know it ain't Hennessy, because that shit's green.
Well, because we're having this sidebar for our Candela St. Patrick's episode, I am drinking Hennessy mixed with Hypnotic, known as the Incredible Hulk, which changes it into a green drink. Still Hennessy, my friend.
Yes. I, on the other hand...
What is that?
It is one of my favorite drinks from one of my favorite Irish restaurants in this local area down here in the Northwest Florida area. It is called an Irish Wake. It is 3 different kinds of rum, blue curacao, and orange juice to make it nice green color.
That is a wonderful green color, sir.
Yes, and they are quite strong, which is my favorite kind of drink, the strong kind.
My favorite,
St. Patrick's Day.
It's free.
Also, yes.
But yes, that is a perfect St. Patrick's Day drink.
Yes. They are. That has nothing to do. There's nothing Irish about it except for the name Irish Wake. However, it is green. It's St. Patrick's Day. I'm drinking it through a green straw, smoking a Candela wrapped cigar. What could be more perfect for this lovely sidebar that we're doing?
Thank you. You hit the shamrock on the head, sir.
Well, I am Irish of Irish descent, Irish and Scottish descent, so I gotta represent my roots. You know,
Sadly, I am not.
I'd be surprised if you were. But let's get into this sidebar, the St. Patrick's Day sidebar. So, what do you know about St. Patrick's Day?
I just remember growing up, you got to wear green. If you don't wear green, you get pinched. And I really don't understand the whole method behind the pinching. And to be honest, I really don't know too much about St. Patrick. Is that a real saint? Is that a guy?
It is. St. Patrick was a real saint. He drove the snakes out of Ireland. Now the snakes are symbolic for the Druidic priests, the pagan priests, right? Those are the quote-unquote snakes. He drove them out of Ireland and converted Ireland into Christianity. So that is why they celebrate St. Patrick, is because he basically brought Christianity at the time to Ireland, rather than its pagan, lawless, quote-unquote, self.
So, saying that, where does the shamrock come into play?
That is a fair question. I don't, but I'm assuming that you do.
Well, no, I've heard. I'm not, by all means, everyone listening, I am no expert. Please comment below or comment on our site. Let me know if I'm wrong or right. But the shamrock comes into play because he was trying to change the pagan mentality of everyone. He used a 3-leaf shamrock to talk about the Holy Trinity.
Ooh. So then why is a 4-leaf shamrock good luck?
That's just science. Very rare.
Fair enough.
You ever look? You ever found one?
I have. I found several in my lifetime.
Really? I have never found one.
Really?
Not to say that I got down and was looking for them, but I've dealt with shamrocks and stuff before. I've never found a 4-leaf one.
I have found. I don't want to say probably at least 3 or 4. These were when I was younger, and I would literally sit there looking for them because it was, I'd play a sport or something outdoors, and I'd just be sitting off on the sidelines while waiting my turn to play, and I'd just say patch shamrocks, and I'd go around and look for them. But I ended up. Don't ask me. I lost them all. I never kept them. It's not like Fry from Futurama, the septuple freaking, the Quinn Shamrock or whatever he had.
So all this drinking. So I'm wondering, green beer. Where did green beer start? That's a good one for me. Is it just because people want to drink and they're like, St. Patrick's Day, make it green?
That's always what I kind of assume is the anything green, anything to do with I say Ireland. Ireland is mostly green. Anything to do with St. Patrick's Day has to be green because Ireland is known for being green, the luck of the Irish, so to speak. The leprechauns were clothed in green.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
So everything having to do with Ireland was mostly green. So a holiday specific to Ireland, almost basically, it almost had to be green. So I think the green beer just kind of stemmed from that. That's a marketing ploy, in my opinion.
Well, that makes plenty of sense because I'm pretty confident they sell a lot more beer on St. Patrick's Day, especially make it green. I guess you can add another $1 to it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Drunk idiots will buy anything, right? And listen, St. Patrick's Day is the day that we all get, I shouldn't say all, because there are those who abstain from alcohol and those who have small children who can't get as drunk as they would like or used to get. Being one of them, everyone tries to drink something green on St. Patrick's Day because everything has to be green.
Yeah, like an Irish wake,
right? Or green eggs and ham. Sam, I am.
Green eggs and ham makes me think that something's right.
100%. I agree with that.
I will not eat them with a box. I will not eat them in a box.
I don't want them anywhere. I don't want them here, nor there, or anywhere. But enough quoting Dr. Seuss for the minute. So green. What else do we know? What else do you know about St. Patrick's Day? Anything of fun Why do we drink? Do you know why we drink so much on St. Patrick's Day?
Well, I briefly looked that up, and it said that the saints, or whatever, they would fast. They would fast from food and alcohol, and the day that it ends, which is around March 17th, is when the fast ends. So instead of like eating food, of course they'd be like, oh, we can drink alcohol again. Boom, let's do that. Let's drink alcohol. So that just kind of progressed on to future, to where we equate St. Patrick's Day with drinking alcohol, just because that's the end of that fasting period.
So it's kind of like a, because see, St. Patrick's Day and you have Fat Tuesday, right? Which marks marks the beginning of Lent. So you get all of the debauchery, so to speak, out of the way before you start the Lent season. And you go into that aspect. It's definitely one of those things that's super interesting, that they're like, hey, I'd fast for this period of time, but in the middle of, so to speak, Lent and everything else, it's let's get drunk, basically.
What y'all drinking on?
What? Yeah.
How's your candela working out?
It's well,
I mean, by now you got to be at least in the first third, right?
Yeah. So that Maduro, because it's a triple barber pole, right? So that Maduro and the Habano are giving me a little bit of spice, but that Candella wrapper is it's kind of mellowing things out and giving me a little bit of an earthy note. Yeah, it's very, very good. What about yours?
When I lit mine to start with, when I put the fire to it, it's a closed foot, which means that it has tobacco covering the foot. So as I light that, it really had like a waxy like smell to it, like an odor. So I was like, I don't know about this. Mm-hmm. Then after I got past that, I'm in my first third. The Candela is giving it like a very not vegetables like carrots and stuff, like a veggie kind of flavor profile.
Okay.
Mixed with the San Andreas. I can get the pepper from the Mexican wrapper, but it's all mixing together. It's actually it turned out better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, this is my first Filthy Hooligan by Alec Bradley. And I've always seen them. I've never been able to smoke them usually because I forget to buy them before St. Patrick's Day, and by the time St. Patrick's Day arrives, they're all sold out. So it is what it is. But I'm curious, what do you think is the traditional dish of St. Patrick's Day? I know what the traditional dish is of St. Patrick's Day because my wife cooks it. Her family actually can trace her roots all the way back to a town in Ireland. She is very much in the habit of celebrating St. Patrick's Day, but I want to know if you know.
I'm just going to take a guess that it is potatoes and leeks.
What about a meat?
What's that meat? Corned beef hash.
Corned beef. Do you know why?
I have no idea.
So, in St. Patrick's Day, they would savor, plates of corned beef and cabbage. Not leeks, but cabbage is usually the thing. But in Ireland, a type of bacon, which is similar to ham, is usually the customary protein. However, in the late 19th century, Irish immigrants were in New York, and they had to substitute, because bacon was short in the 19th century, they had to substitute corned beef, which they bought from the Jewish neighbors in order to save money, because Irish immigrants were not the best treated at that point in time. They used corned beef, and then now that has become a more, I would say, historically, at least in America, historically used dish.
I did not know. I am now the wiser.
Yeah. Same thing with green. The green. Doing a little bit of research. I try to do a little bit of research for these things. Actually, the Knights of the Order of St. Patrick, guess what color they used?
Green?
Got a second guess?
Knights of the St. Patrick?
Yep, Knights of the Order of St. Patrick.
But if it's not green, I'm gonna go with a generic color, neutral color of black.
Nope, blue.
Oh,
They wore blue, known as St. Patrick's blue, actually. So when green came about, it was back in the 18th century when supporters of Irish independence from Britain used the color to represent their cause, because Emerald Isle is green.
the more you know.
The more you know, the more you learn. But yes, that is some of the reasons why we do St. Patrick's Day the way we do. Gotta Google some stuff, man.
You know what my first Candela cigar was? You have any
What's
idea?
that? What is that?
Well, as people probably know if they listened to the show before, my first start of cigars are gas station cigars. So my first Candela cigar was an Optimo. You ever heard of Optimo?
I've never heard of Optimo.
They were small torpedo cigars, and they were green. They were very green. There was no doubt of their color. And I saw them when I was picking up some Black and Milds, and I was like, what the hell are those?
Black and mild.
Yeah, what the hell are those? So my first Candela was actually an Optimo. That was like, I'll show my age.
Don't show your age.
Okay.
Nobody needs to know that.
That was quite some time ago, sir.
Some time ago.
I don't even know if they still make.
I don't even know. I'd have to look that one up.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Okay, yeah. So St. Patrick's Day, man. What else is about St. Patrick's Day? What when you think of St. Patrick's Day, what comes to mind?
Actually, what comes to mind is leprechauns. And
Leprechauns.
yeah, you follow the rainbow and you find
get a
a
pot of gold.
Yeah. So it's
They're
just
always after my lucky charm.
why is everyone laughing?
Fucking Austin Powers. Good reference there. So leprechauns are obviously not real. But
What?
did you? Yeah, I know. No such thing as leprechauns.
Damn it.
But do you know what they're based on?
I'm pretty sure there's some kind of folklore in there about it, but I really don't know. The only thing I know about leprechauns is sadly is the stupid B-rated horror movie that came out. I gotta clean these shoes. Yeah, that fucking movie.
I totally forgot about the movie until you said something. Leprechauns are usually generally believed to be focused on Irish fairies. So, Irish believed in fairies. They believed if you go out at night, then the fairy folk were out there, and they were usually short, kind of sprite-ish creatures. And that's where the leprechauns came in. But more specifically, what plant do you associate with St. Patrick's Day?
Other than the clover?
No, I was talking about the clover.
Oh, okay. That's the only plant I think of.
Yeah.
Unless you want to talk about cabbage, because now you brought cabbage up.
Well, corned beef and cabbage is just, that's a poor folks steak dinner, right?
Well, I love me some cabbage, man.
Hey, corned beef ain't bad either. Give it.
I just never I don't think I've had it. And if I did have it, I don't think it made an impact on me. So
you've never had corned beef?
I don't think so, sir.
Oh my gosh. I'll have to get the wife to cook you some corned beef cabbage next time we're together for St. Patty's Day.
Sounds like a plan.
I will say that it took me a little bit to acquire the taste, the way she cooks it, but it has grown on me, and I definitely could get down on some corned beef now. But the clover to me symbolizes, every leprechaun has a clover, usually 4-leaf clover, because those are the lucky ones from, because they're rare. The clover, I've never understood what the clover has meant to St. Patrick's Day.
That's where it goes back to the Holy Trinity. Your leprechauns is pagan, because fairies and stuff, that's like a pagan following.
Right, and he drove the snakes out. There were no snakes, so it's a pagan priest.
In order to kind of, like, as I like to say things, you put in Dice dummy terms, he used the clover to explain the Holy Trinity.
God the Father and the Holy Spirit.
There you go.
Or God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
So he's using this as like a showpiece where everybody's like, ooh, ah, and then it gave everyone a better understanding because in Ireland it's all green. What's the most common thing people see?
Right. I mean, that makes sense for sure. Is those I'm pretty sure that the 3-leaf clover is also a sacred plant symbolizing the arrival of spring.
Huh.
Yeah.
And spring is around that time frame. So all that adds up. I'll buy that.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's definitely one of those things. Doing research for this thing, it always talks about how the Irish were scorned in America. And if you don't know, look up the history of the Irish in America. Irish Americans were super looked down upon as disease-ridden, unskilled, and a drain on welfare budgets. And that is not obviously the case. Those guys were very skilled. They knew what the heck they were doing. They made very skilled laborers and workers. But yes, those were some interesting things. Candella. How's your rap? Are you in the second, third now? I know you're doing a Lancero, so
I would say I'm in the second, third. I will look at that. I'm still getting that I keep saying this word wrong. Vegetal like flavor profile.
Vegetal
like I don't want to say vegetables because people think of carrots and potatoes, and is a plant-like flavor profile, and is actually mellowing out. It's like a creaminess to it now. By all means, it's still I would smoke this again, 100%.
Interesting. I would definitely smoke one of these. I of course followed my own rule of buy two, so I'm looking forward to smoking another one of these, whether it be on St. Patrick's Day or not. But yeah, it's very interesting. I'm just trying to think if there's anything that we may have missed.
Well, I'm pretty confident there's a lot we have missed. I'm pretty sure there's got to be someone out there that's very versed in this all the St. Patrick's Day. Maybe we should add a guest speaker. Maybe next year we have a guest speaker.
That would be cool. I would love to have, if any of you listeners out there are an Irish priest or an Irish folk or anything else that's well versed in Ireland and the history of St. Patrick's Day, please let us know. We would love to have you on, and it would be wonderful so we could learn more about Ireland and learn more about the culture and the history of St. Patrick's Day. But, what
about the history of Candella?
Ooh, the history of Candella. Well, I mean, we've talked about Candella in a past episode of how it is made. Candelas are taken off the plant before it is fully dried and withered and stuff like that to preserve some of that chlorophyll, right? Because chlorophyll is the thing that gives plants their green color, in case you did not know. A little bit of science for y'all. But that is what gives... Oh my gosh. That is what gives... I took my band off and it split my wrapper. Sorry, folks. That is what gives the Candella its green color, in case you did not know. But one thing that I always try to do on St. Patrick's Day is I try to listen to Irish music. I don't know if you do the same.
No, sir, I do not. I didn't even know there was like Irish music. I think what was Riverdance? What's that line?
River dancing?
Yeah, is that Irish?
Yes.
Okay, so I did know something, but yeah, to say I listened to it only by a commercial.
I mean, on St. Patrick's Day, I don't listen to it driving down the road and be like, let me bump to some Irish music real quick. On St. Patrick's Day, I try to do that. Everyone thinks of Dropkick Murphys and their Irish songs. That those are probably the most prevalent in current history. But doing the research for this, I found out that after being conquered by the English, the Irish were actually forbidden to speak their own language.
How can you? Yeah, what?
Yeah, so the English conquered them, right? They conquered the Irish. And
you're part of the UK now.
Yep. So like other oppressed peoples, Irish turned to music to help them remember important events and hold on to their heritage and history. However, during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, she decreed that all artists and pipers were to be arrested and hanged on the spot if they spoke Irish or sang Irish music.
That's crazy.
Well, so not to get too political, right? But something you can identify with. Think of the slaves in America.
You got to wade in the water. Yeah, there's lots of
right. Swing low, sweet chariot. Camp. All these things that were, sung by the African American, the slaves at the time. They turned to music to help remember their heritage.
Well, I'm just looking at it from that point of view at that time frame to say, hey, you can't speak your native tongue. And so how does that relate to St. Patrick's Day? You never brought it full circle.
So for St. Patrick's Day, right? Because St. Patrick's Day celebrates the death of St. Patrick, right? The day of his death was March 17th. So to help celebrate that, the people of Ireland helped celebrate that. They sang Irish songs and did Irish music. So when they started to try to ban this, they were banning the songs and the music that helped celebrate the fact that the Irish became Christian, even though the British Empire at the time was Christian.
Got it.
And so that's how they tried to get away with it, saying, look, we're doing this because we're celebrating Christianity. Please let us do this. And sometimes they'd let them go, sometimes they wouldn't. But it all depends. It depends on everything, as everything always does. Depends on who was around.
Right.
So yeah, it's Irish. The Irish history, to me, of course, being one of them, being somewhat historically connected to those folk, is always very interesting.
I always find it interesting to follow back on, your ancestors, just to see what's going on, like what made you to where you're at today. Of course, they say history repeats itself over time. So if you learn your history, you can kind of see the signs of it coming again.
Well, yeah. I mean, this old saying goes, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Yeah.
So, I mean, it just works out. And it's nice that it's like a worldwide accepted holiday. It's not just in like the States. It's not just in Ireland. There's other countries that celebrate the same day. So,
well, what's funny about that is, I don't know if you know this. Probably not, because I didn't know this until I was doing research for this. But the first St. Patrick's Day parade was actually held in America.
Yeah, actually, I did know that. Well,
there you go.
We some parade having mofos.
Hey, we got a parade for everything at this point.
I'm not going down that street.
Nope. Why not? You don't want to have a parade down that street?
Nope. I just keep my pity party to myself, sir.
Hey. But yeah, I think Candella wrapped cigars, a nice green beer or green drink to help celebrate the some Irish culture and heritage is not a bad way to celebrate the March 17th.
I try to smoke cigars in the time frame. That's why it's hard to find them until around March, a Candella cigar. So I mean, this could easily be a tradition for us to smoke a Candella cigar around this time.
Yeah, I'm always down for traditions. We talked about it in the past episodes. I think on our last sidebar, we actually talked about traditions. I'm always down to start a tradition, especially one that I tend to celebrate myself. I will say that Candellas they can be hard to find, but however, acid makes a Candella cigar that I usually can find year round.
The one most common one I see is the one you're smoking now, is the Hooligan.
That usually comes out around St. Patrick's Day. So February-ish time frame is when they start releasing them. When I went to my brick and mortar store, I asked them for Candela wrapped cigars. They handed me something else first. I for the life of me, I looked at it and I was like, these could work. And then I asked them if they had Filthy Hooligans, and they said, oh, we just got some in. And I literally handed them back and said I'd want those instead. And so I can't remember the name of the ones that I first picked up, but
Mr. Sinister?
Maybe.
Probably, if that don't ring a bell, it's okay.
I literally looked at him, I said the name out loud, and then I asked, do you have Filthy Hooligan? And they said, yeah. And I said, here you go, I want those instead. And that was the end of the conversation. The guy I was talking to actually at the brick and mortar, he was helping another customer. He was kind of helping two customers at once, me and another guy. And he was trying to tell the guy, he said, they harvest, they wait. He was trying to tell him the history of the Candela and how it's made, and was trying to tell him, oh yeah, it's made because they wait to harvest it, and then they dry it out more, and it gives you some more earthy notes. And I said, well, it does give you more earthy notes, usually some green tea and stuff like that. I said, but they don't wait to harvest it. They actually harvest it early, so that way it's not fully dried out, and that's how you get the green color, because it still has some chlorophyll. And he was like, oh really? Yeah, I didn't know that. And so it's one of those things. I was trying to share my cigar knowledge in not a dick-ish way. Yeah,
Mr. Know-It-All over here.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, Mr. Jeopardy.
Listen, if I can ever win money off of trivia, I hope to God that I can do it by knowing useless facts. Then it'll actually make sense. I have some reason to know this stuff.
Well, brick and mortars in place like that, that's where you're supposed to share that kind of information. So unless you come off like trying to sound like a dick, I don't think you ever be like, by the way, guys, I just want you to know, like, yeah, for a matter of fact, you motherfuckers, you stupid fucks. That's probably, you're probably going to come losers. Yeah. So yeah, sharing it. I mean, that's how this information is passed down. Before podcasts and all that stuff, that's how it's passed down. You go to your brick and mortar, you sit in the lounge, and some of the old heads that has that raspy voice, I'm gonna tell you something, and that's how you get your information.
Listen, did you know? Right. Jesus, how many cigars have you smoked in your lifetime? Entirely too many, okay?
Smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, I smoke cigarettes. But no, I love St. Patrick's Day. I love celebrating it. It's probably my favorite holiday in the entire year. No, I don't like Christmas more. No, I don't like Thanksgiving or Halloween more. St. Patrick's Day is by far, I would say, my favorite holiday. Not to do with anything drinking related. I just enjoy, all the green stuff, and I enjoy celebrating the Irish heritage that I have.
That makes plenty of sense. I mean, who can be mad at that?
Right. I mean, if St. Patrick's Day would ever become a federal holiday similar to like Juneteenth, I would be ecstatic.
I'm not going to go into Juneteenth. We'll wait to Juneteenth to talk about Juneteenth.
Oh, I can't wait to learn about Juneteenth from you. It is a federal holiday, and I cannot wait.
Good. I can't wait either. I am versed in Juneteenth.
I am so excited because who is another prolific cigar smoker, just to add this segue on there for Juneteenth, Abraham Lincoln.
That is definitely a true story.
So I'm excited. But until next time, this has been a nice sidebar conversation about St. Patrick's Day, Candela wrapped cigars, and all things green.
Yeah. There's no such thing as a bad cigar. There's better ones out there.
Yeah, I agree. And I just want to remind everybody to not be that asshole. Step out of your comfort zone and try a Candela wrap cigar this St. Patrick's Day.
That cigar looks great, man.
I'm so excited. I'm about in my second third. It's nice and mellow with a little bit of hint of spice. I do get a little bit of that green tea, earthy note every time I hit that Candela wrapper. It's just, this thing is amazing balance. If you guys have not tried it, go out, find yourself a Filthy Hooligan Shamrock. They are delicious. Go out and try one with a nice green beer and enjoy your St. Patrick's Day.
All right. Until next time. Thank you for listening to Leadership of the Leaf. The comments and opinions expressed by the host and guests
does not reflect the opinions of those that broadcast this show, nor does it reflect any of our affiliates.